Welcome to the Animated Critics Weekly Box Office Update for July 30th to August 1st, 2010. As followed are the weekend estimates. Returning in first place for the third week is Inception, with a $27 million estimated gross, bringing its total now to $192, just in shot of $200 million, and this looks to crack the $300 million mark in the next 10 days or so. Are you impressed by this run?
I'm just really impressed that people have liked this movie as much as they have. If anyone's interested, go ahead and watch our Anime Critics Episode 7, Perception of Inception, to hear our personal opinions about the film, but I'm surprised that this had a Matrix-type appeal to the general audience, and something that is smart enough to where general people can get it and feel almost superior to other audiences. And I don't know exactly how they made this win here, but they really had a real win here.
Yeah, this is a huge hit for Warner Brothers, one of the rare films that's going to be 3 weeks at the top of the box office. Debuting strongly in second place is the comedy Dinner for Schmucks, with an estimated $24 million gross. Beat Inception at the box office on Friday, but fell on Saturday and Sunday, so it ranks second for the weekend. It could be considered a winner for Paramount, and this looks to cross the $100 million mark. What did you think this film was going to do opening weekend?
I thought it was going to do about this. This is maybe a couple million higher than I thought it was going to do. Really, I mean, Steve Carell has been so strong lately. I doubted this a week ago. I really thought Cats and Dog was gonna top it, but I should have been smarter about it. I should have just stuck with Steve Carell, because he seems to be a real winner.
Yeah, Steve Carell is emerging as one of the most consistent comedic draws at the box office. He hasn't had failure yet. Yeah, he rivals Sandler.
Yeah. Really, he is the new Adam Sandler in a way. And at number 3, we have Salt, with an estimated $19 million weekend for a total of $70.5 million right now. This is definitely crossing the $100 million mark, but how far past that do you think this is gonna wind up?
I think this will hit 110 to 125 million. Its opening weekend was similar to Robin Hood's earlier this year, and that hit the 110 mark. So I think it'll hold that pattern. And Sony's got this is a hit for Sony, and this is for sure in the win column, especially now that the worldwide grosses are trickling in. This looks to be doing well overseas. This will most likely hit 300 to 350 million worldwide.
While this movie is a hit, Robin Hood winds up being quite a huge failure, and really it all comes down to budget for these films. Wouldn't you agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you on that. They so overspent on Robin Hood that they had to make back what was going to be almost impossible to make back on that film, to even put it in the red.
And at number 4, we have Despicable Me, with an estimated $15 million weekend for a total of $189 now. And this is definitely crossing $200 million. A huge hit for Universal.
And rounding out the top 5, we have Charlie St. Cloud, the new Zac Efron film, debuting fairly strongly at $15 million. This is right in line with our projections last weekend in the mid-teens, and performs similar to other movies in the genre like The Last Song and Letters to Juliet. This will probably cross the $60 million mark, and be a minor hit for Universal.
It's a pretty big hit for Zac Efron. It really talks a lot about how much of a draw he is. $15 million is nothing to shy away from for a movie like Charlie St. Cloud.
Yeah, it speaks to his drawing power as a star, because they really sold this whole movie on him, and his audience showed up. Debuting outside the top 5, we have the sequel to Cats and Dogs with an estimated $12 million. This is a huge failure for Warner Brothers, even at 3D ticket prices, and with all these kids and the built-in fan base from the first film, it could only manage a $12 million opening.
This is the first major failure in that regard, but this is also a movie that I think is going to do really well when it comes out on DVD for DVD rentals, so it may make it up in the end.
Yeah, I agree. This is the first 3D failure. It should teach the studio that you can't just release anything in 3D and think people are going to show up and you're going to have a hit on your hands. And also, to be fair, it is playing in a crowded marketplace. I mean, it's going up against Toy Story 3, which is still doing great business, and Despicable Me, and there's just a lot of things for kids out there right now, not to mention The Sorcerer's Apprentice. So there's a lot of distractions, and it just didn't find its audience.
Opening up next weekend, we have The Other Guys and Step Up 3D. Snap decision for The Other Guys, above $30 million or less than $30 million opening weekend.
I'd say above 30 million. I'd go more closer to 40 million. I do think it's going to have a strong, for opening weekend. I don't think it's going to have legs whatsoever, but I do think it'll open up closer to 40.
I think people are getting over Will Ferrell, and I don't think this is going to be any Step Brothers or Talladega Nights. You know, he's really, if anything, this is the person who needs a comeback at this point. This is no Steve Carell. You know, he doesn't measure up to Adam Sandler at this point. And I think maybe around 30 million. I don't think 40 million like you say. I think lower 30s.
You could be right. Step Up 3 is going to make some money. It's in 3D, which is going to inflate the gross, obviously. And the second one was a surprise hit, just like the first one was. And somehow these movies are like they make about 150 million worldwide, which is why there's a Step Up 3 in the first place. But it is going to bite into some of its audience.
It's also playing, yeah, well, a huge counter programming to the other guys and Inception, you know, and Salt even for that matter. You know, Step Up 3D really is a girly girls movie. You're going to see girls go to that.
That does it for our show this week. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to check back next week and see how our predictions came out.